Welcome to a new video lesson. In today's lesson, I will analyze a part of The Good Person of Szechwan by Bertolt Brecht. So, let's begin. Let us today begin with the interlude between scene 3 and scene 4 of The Good Person of Szechwan. The situation or the place is Wang's sleeping place under a culvert where water cellar is asleep, music is there. The culvert becomes transparent and the gods appear to him as he dreams. So what we see here is that unlike the previous occurrences, what we see here is that the gods are coming in his dreams. Okay, so here they are wanting, or they are here to get information about Shente, okay, and how the condition, how she has been after getting all the money. Wang, beaming, I have seen her illustrious one, she has not changed. So the very first thing that Wang says is that Shente has not changed, as Wang has been appointed to keep an eye on Shente. So Wang is informing the gods that she has not changed. Why this is so? This is mainly because generally people change after becoming rich, but she has not. The first god says that gives them the pleasure. And Wang also mentions that she is in love. She showed me her friend. Truly things are going well for her. So apparently when we judge, we see that Shente is in a good position. Shente is having the best things in her life. She has got the money, she has got a shop, now she is in love, her life is settled. But we all know how the things are not glorious, okay, from the point of view that everyone is after taking advantage of her goodness. Clear? So the first god, that is good to hear. Let us hope she will be strengthened in her pursuit of goodness. Indeed, yes, she is performing all the charitable deeds. Shente is doing that charitable deeds. She has friendly word for everyone. So the first god asks what kind of charitable deeds that she is doing. They want to know about that. Wang says that she is friendly to everyone. She has friendly words for everyone. The first god says, what else? It is rare that a man is allowed to leave her shop without something to smoke, just for lack of money. So everyone who visits Shente's shop, everyone is given something to smoke, even if they are not having the money. Okay, so what we see here is that this might be considered a goodness, but when it is your business that you sell tobacco, when tobacco selling is your business, then how come you are loitering your whole elements, or what can you say, all the materials without money? This will lead you nowhere. You might be good in people's eyes, but the problem will be that these people will not come to your rescue when you will be in financial crisis, right? So the first god, that sounds satisfactory anymore. She has taken in a family of 8. So she had taken the family of 8. They have been given shelter by Shente. So this giving shelter, this giving something to enjoy, like smoking, all these things are good qualities. But when these things are at your own expense, these things harm you down, these things bring you down, then the problem starts. Okay, Wang, she has taken in the family of 8. The first god triumphantly to the second. 8, indeed, to Wang. Have you anything else to tell us? Wang also mentions that even though it was raining, she brought a calf from him. So they could have easily drank water directly the rain water from the trees or sky or anything, but instead of doing so, for helping Wang, they Shente bought water from Wang, which is not done by anyone in the city, right, as has been told before also. Yes, minor charities of that sort, of course, Wang, but they eat into the money. A small business doesn't make all that much. So Wang is also concerned that her small business does not make money, and all the things that she is doing eat into her business. True, true, but a prudent gardener can work wonders with his little patch. So a person who is a true gardener or a true expert of things, he or she can do wonders with the little amount that one has. Okay, Wang, this is just what she does. Every morning she distributes rice. Believe me, it must cost more than half her earnings. So every morning Shente is distributing rice to the poorest section of the society, anyone who needs it. But what we see here is but through the Wang's dialogue, that it is more than his earning. So it is simple maths, that if you are there to give away most of your more than you earn, then you will be in a deplorable condition, you will be bankrupt, right? So though it sounds novel, though it sounds very um, it is filled with goodness, but when we look into the thing in a practical way, we see that these things that Shente is doing is not justified for living happily, or justified for living or existing in this society. The moment you will be giving away more than you earn, your income, more than your income or more than your all earnings, you will be in a downward slide, right? And a day will come when you will be there for asking for rice instead of giving away, right? So the first gods are slightly disappointed. The first god is slightly disappointed. I am not denying it. I am not displeased with her start. So what they are saying, that they are not displeased with the start. And remember, times are not easy. She had to call in a cousin once, as her shop was getting into difficulties. So what we see here is that for a person like Shente, she is not, her characteristics is such that she is soft, she is tender, she is caring, and she is benevolent enough to give away everything that she has, right? So what we see here is that in order to get herself rescued from those difficulties that her benevolence is creating, for that Wang says that Shente need to call her cousin. So what we see here is that these interludes gives a recollection of the facts that has happened. Okay, this will be a long play, and so for the readers also and for the audience also, this interludes gives them a reminder, gives a recall, a recapitulation. Clear? So that they can link, they can remember what things has happened before. So the main points are harped into the minds of the readers and the minds of the audience also, by saying these things, by reiterating these things that has happened before. Okay, so the main important things are again said, besides what in other businesses too, much of a manage, but everyone agrees that she is a good girl. They began to call her the angel of the slums. Okay, so what we see here is that at one moment the recapitulation is going on, and another moment things what uh, the perspective of the slum dwellers are feeling, the intentions or the mindset of the slum dwellers is revealed through Wang. So Wang acts as a chorus. Okay, he comments on the story. Clear? He comments on the drama, he comments on the actions. So the gods also act as or becomes a part of the choric action, right? So the first god, what's that? Does Linto the carpenter speak ill of her? Wang only. Oh, he says the shelving of the shop wasn't quite paid for. So what is being said that the carpenter who asks for 100 silver dollars is paid $20 by the cousin, and he is the only one who says that he was not paid for. The second god, what are you telling us? The carpenter not paid? In Shantesha, how could she permit that? I suppose she didn't have the money. Wang is saying that she didn't have no matter, one pays one debts. So one cannot afford even the appearance of irregularity. The letter of the law has first to be fulfilled, then its spirit. So second god is the one who is more ruder version of the first god. What we see here is that he says that the gods says that no one pays, one has to pay their debts, but in that case one should not be cheating another person in that way. Wang, it was her cousin, not herself. So Wang actually corrects the fact that it was not Shente who has cheated or not paid the debts, but actually it was Shente's cousin. Then that cousin must never again enter her door. Second, and God, who is also believer of good things, says that the cousin should not enter the door because he has cheated that person. Okay, Wang, dejected. I have understood, illustrious one, but in Shente's defense, let me just say that a cousin is supposed to be the most reputable businessman. Even the police respects him. Okay, so the first god, the cousin will not be condemned without a hearing either. So what is being said here is that they are appearing to be just, they are appearing to be not cheating the cousin, that is Shweta. So they are saying that they won't be dealing with or condemning the cousin without a proper trial or proper hearing. Okay, so what we see here is that it's commentary on the things that are happening, and the second god says with a bad call, in any case it must not be allowed to occur again. So the thing that has happened should not be. They turn to leave, the other two gods likewise turn. The third god, the last to leave, embarrassingly, forgive our rather sharp tone today. We were very tired and we have slept too little. Oh, those rights. The well of give us the best possible recommendation to the poor, but the poor have too few rooms. So why is their tone so rude? Why their tone so sharp is being said by the third god. So again a commentary, again a information is being produced here from the part of the gods, that as they were in search of good people, the rich people give recommendations, possible recommendation of the poor, whereas for staying, whereas the poor have hardly few rooms in their homes. Okay, the gods grumble, as they move and the broken reeds between the bears. They go no longer be hard. Wang calls after them, do not be too hard on us, O illustrious ones. Do not ask for everything at once. So what we see here is that there is the commentary, there is the re-mentioning of the facts that has happened in order to help the audience or the readers remember the main facts so that they can relate it with the next things. Also, from the perspective of the gods, from the perspective of the story's movement, for the gods to be informed, they are, as the gods are not overpowering, not knowing everything from everywhere within a second or so, or they are not all powerful as it seems, that they are more human like. Okay, they have the powers of human, but what we see here is that they needs to be informed. This information is given through Wang. So this interlude acts on two purposes. One, for the readers or the audience to remember the facts that has happened. Number two, for the progress of the story on the part of the gods, that gods needs to know. Okay, scene 4, let's begin with it. Square in front of Shente's shop. Okay, space in front of Shente's shop. A barber's, a carpet shop, Shente's tobacconist shop. It is Monday. Outside Shente's shop wait two supervisors of the family of 8, the grandfather and the sister-in-law, also the unemployed man and Mrs. Shin. Sister-in-law says that she never came home last night. Mrs. Shin, astonishing behavior. We managed to get rid of this maniac of cousin, and there's nothing to stop her having a little rice to spare now and again when off she goes for the night chasing around gods know where. So they are talking about that they have not seen Shente around and everything. They, instead of that, Shente is there, always there to help the people with the rice being spared, little rice being given to the for the poor. Okay, loud voices are heard from the barber's shop. Wang staggers out, followed by Mr. Shufu, stout barber with a heavy pair of curling tongs in a hand. Mr. Shufu, I will teach you to come bothering my customer with your stinking water. Take your mug and get out. Wang reaches. So this is a plot which will help in the plot's movement in the later part of the story. Okay. Wang reaches out the mug and Shufu holding out to him and gets a blow on the hand with curling tongs so that he screams. So what is happening? Wang enters the barber shop with his water, and what we see that the Mr. Shufu, who is the barber, hits him. Okay, hits him with the curling thongs on his hands. Mr. Shufu, take that, let that be a lesson to you. He pops back to his shop. The unemployed man picks up the mug and hands it to Wang. You can have him up, for hitting you. So the unemployed man is suggesting that Wang can complain to the police against Mr. Shufu for hitting him. Wang, my hand's gone. So what he feels that he has been hurt. Unemployed man, any bones broken? Wang says, I can't move it. Sit down and bathe it a bit. So give water, apply water to your hand. Mrs. Shin, the water won't cost you much anyway. The sister-in-law says, 8 o'clock already and one can't even lay hands on the bit of rag here. She has to go gallivanting off her disgrace. Mrs. Shin darkly, she has forgotten us, that's what. Shente comes down the street carrying a pot of rice. So they are here for the rice. Shente came here with the pot of rice in order to be distributed. Now Shente is addressing the audience. So the alienation effect, also the fourth wall is broken. Clear in this dialogue. So in this dialogue, he describes what has happened last night, um, and we what we'll see here is that he is totally in love with Shente. What she says: I had never seen the city at dawn. These are the hours when I used to lie with my filthy blanket over my head, terrified to wake up. Today I mixed with the newsboys, with the men who had vanished, washing down the streets, with the ox carts bringing fresh vegetables in from. It was a long walk from Sun's neighborhood to here, but with every step I grew happier. So she has spent the whole night with Sun, young Sun that is, and now she is returning back. But with every step she is moving, she is becoming more and more happy. So I had always been told that when one is in love, one walks on air. But the wonderful thing is that one walks on earth, on tarmac. I tell you, at dawn the blocks of buildings are like rubbish heaps and everything. So he is talking and talking, she is talking, and she is totally engrossed in love. She is totally in love with Sun. Okay, that is young Sun. So she has spent the night there, and now she is returning, and as she is remembering, or as she is seeing things around, what she feels, what she sees, that she sees that all the things that are happening, are mesmerizing her. Okay, so what we see here is that the feeling of love, the gloriousness of love, the romanticism of love is thoroughly into her. The To the group waiting, good morning, here is your rice. So he now addresses the group. He gives the rice to them. She shares it out, then notices Wang. Good morning, one. I am light-headed today. All along the way I looked at my reflection in the shop windows, and now I would like to buy myself a shawl. At a short hesitation, I should so like to look beautiful. So before that there was no concern of looking beautiful, as now she is in love, she is concerned about how to look beautiful. She turns quickly into the carpet shop. So she is willing to get a shawl from the carpet shop, but it is available. Mr. Shufu, who is again standing in the doorway to the audience, I am smitten today with the beauty of Miss Shente, the owner of tobacconist opposite, when whom I have never previously noticed. I have watched her for 3 minutes, and I believe I am already in love. So the complication is again at its peak. Okay, so the complication is not only a for the factory, for the business that she is running, but where she needs to afford for the thing, for the rent and everything, but also, and how to manage the business, but also in case of love it is not a simple one, it is not going to be a simple one. The moment and she has fallen in love with Sun, the beauty that is coming out of her, what we see here is that this beauty is coming out of her radiance. The radiance that is coming out is due to the beauty of the love that has been incorporated within her. Okay, so what we see here is that this belief in her, this belief that uh, she is in love, and all the gloriousness that is present within her makes her more beautiful and makes her more attractive to Mr. Shufu, who has not noticed her before, and she is being noticed by Mr. Shufu here. Okay, so Mr. Shufu says that uh, he has already fallen in love with Shente. So this will complicate the situation much more. Okay, an infinitely charming person to Wang. Go to hell, you lout. He turns back to the barber shop. Shente and an extremely old couple, the carpet dealer and his wife. The old woman. It is very pretty and not at all, dear. There's a small hole in the bottom. So Shente is carrying a shawl. The carpet dealer a mirror. So Shente chooses a shawl from the carpet dealer, where the old couple is present. So old woman says that it is very pretty uh, and not at all dear, because it has a small hole at the bottom. Shente trying in the shawl the old woman's arm. I like the green one too. The old, but I am afraid it is perfect condition. So yes, a pity. I cannot take too much with my shop. The income is small and there are many expenses. So because of the defect that is present within the previous shawl, the price is low, whereas the green one, which she also likes, she is not able to buy that because of the expenses that she has, and the business that she runs is also small. Old woman, for charity, don't you do so much? So this brings in the question. She knows that she has not saved enough. She has very less income, right? In order to survive, she has very less income um, to she has very less income to sustain her. But when it comes to the expenses that she does on charity, she does not hesitate. She hesitates on purpose on the things that is spent on her. When she spends something on her, she hesitates. Okay, at last she tries the shawl with the hole, except that I have to only at a present I am lightheaded. Do you think the color suits me? So she is willing to buy that shawl. You had better ask a man that question. Shente calls the old man. Does it suit me? Oh, why don't you ask? The Shente very politely. No, I am asking you. So the old man was saying, why don't you ask? Dot 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 is present. The ask the lover. The old man equally politely, the shawl suits you, but wear it the dull side out. Shente pays and leaves. The old woman. If you don't like it, I will always change it for another. Draws her aside. Has he any money? Shente laughing. Oh goodness, no. The old woman. Will you be able to pay your half year's rent? So, will you be able to pay 6 months' rent that has been asked of you? So, the old woman says that has he any money? Who is he? He is equals to the son. That not the son, but Yang son, the lover, Shente's lover. Okay, so as after one night, Shente is already in love with him, and what we see here is that Shente is totally uh, out of her senses. She is so much engrossed with her emotions that charity, while making charity, she does not look at her expenses. While making love or being in love, she won't look at how she would be able to run the family or how she would be able to take the responsibility of a person who does not earn. So she is a person who is not at all practical. The old woman says that, asks her whether he would be able to pay the rent. Shente, the rent. I had clean got out of my mind. It had clean got that out of my mind. So the worries of the main worry that she should have been concerned about was a rent that she needs to pay, right? But what we see here is that Shente is so engrossed with her charity, so engrossed with the things that are happening in her life, mainly the love affair that she is now involved in. Those things made her fall completely in a spot where she has forgotten everything about the rent. Okay, so the old woman says that, uh, I had something to suggest. You know, my husband and I were a little doubtful about the marriage advertisement. Once we had got to know you, we decided we would help you out of if needed be. So the old woman says that they were a bit concerned about the marriage of Shente through the advertisement and all. So they would like to help Shente, as Shente is a good person. We have put something by and we can lend you 200 silver dollars. If you like, you can make over your stock to us as security, but of course we don't need anything in writing. Clear? So uh, the old man, the old woman and the old man who have saved somewhat around 200 silver dollars, they are willing to lend Shente that amount, which is the exact amount of the rent for 6 months. So they are willing to lend it, and they would, if Shente wants, she can turn the stock over as security, and of course they do not want anything in writing. All those things are not needed because they trust Shente's character. So Shente, would you really lend me such a scattered brain person? So Shente also knows that what kind of person she is. She is a person who is scattering all the arms, all the things that is presented to her, mostly the money that is present, right? So Shente is surprised. The old woman, we think twice about lending it to your cousin, who is definitely not scattered brain, but we gladly lend it to you. So the old woman says that they would think twice before lending it to Shweta, who is a cousin, who is not a scattered brain, who is focused and practical and everything. But what we see here is that they are not willing. They are not willing to lend it to Shweta, but they are very much willing to lend it to her, that is Shente. Okay, they would be glad if she accepted. The old man comes up, all fixed. Shente, I wish the gods could have heard your wife. Just then, Mr. Deng, they are looking for good and happy people. So, as Shente knew, the wish or the demands or the wants of the gods, who are wanting nothing but good people around in order to save the society, right? So if they would have seen Mr. Deng and the wife, and then they would be happy, and I am sure you must be happy to be helping me out. The two people smile at one another. The old man, here is the money they gave her. He hands her an envelope. She accepts it. The old people bow. They go back to their shop. Shente to Wang, holding up the envelope. This is 6 months rent. Isn't that a miracle? And Wang, what do you think of my new shawl? Wang, did you buy it for the man I saw in the park? Shente nods. So this shawl has been bought for Yang San, okay, and the money. So everything is going perfect, right? Everything that needs to happen is happening. Mrs. Shin says that you might choose to look at his hand instead of retaining your shady adventures. So Mrs. Shin, who is there, asks that you are so concerned with your own things that you are not at all thinking of what has happened to Wang. What has happened? He has been hit. Mrs. Shin says the barber smashed it with his curling thongs in front of our eyes. So Mrs. Shin at first says that she saw the barber hitting Wang. Right? Clear? So they are the witnesses. But when it will come to give witness, they would back off. And we will see that here. So what we see here is that people, generally the lowest sections of the society, are not willing to get involved into things where they would be in problem, they would be in trouble against when they are pitted against the powerful sections of the society. The barber is rich and they are not willing to get involved. Moreover, they they are self-centered. They can give you advice, they will give you the pushing to do things, but when the need will come for their help to help you, they won't come a step, they won't take a step, as they are self-centered, they are engrossed with their own benefits only. Okay, so what we see here is that this kind of people is the unemployed man, Mrs. Sheen, and the sister-in-law who were present when Wang was hurt. So Mrs. Shin says, Shente, horrified at the heedlessness. It's frightful disaster. Come on, get up, hurry, and go, Steve. You will never be able to walk properly again. So she is asking the water seller, that is Wang, to go to the doctor, or it will become stiff and won't be able to do anything. The unemployed man, he does not want the doctor, he wants the magistrate. The barber's a rich man and he ought to get compensation. So unemployed man is saying that more than the doctor, the need is the magistrate. So they are all after getting monetary help in any way possible. Okay, so as if they go to a doctor, there will be expenses, but if they go to the magistrate, they will get the money instead of that, right? So the unemployed man and the and every other person who is there, they are all for going to the magistrate for the compensation. Wang, do you think there's a chance? Mr. Shin, if you really can't use it, can you? Wang, I don't think so. It's already very swollen. Would it mean a pension for life? So everyone who has been in sustaining their life through the troubles, they would want monetary help for life, as they won't have to work. It is a common human tradition, whatever may be it, during disaster or anything. It is expected of them, it is a normal thing for them to ask for the help, to ask for help of people, help of the government and everything, to compensate them. But here we see that instead of seeing that he has been hurt and everything, he is not willing to go to the doctor, because curing will give him the chance of not getting the money. That is, he will miss the chance of getting the money as compensation. So what we see here is that the sustaining in this world, the sustaining of the poor people is such that they have to um, find out ways in order to survive in whatever way it is possible. Okay, so Wang, I don't think so. Wang, can you, Mr. Shin, you need a witness, of course. Wang, but you all saw, right? So now comes the tricky part. Everyone will pump you, everyone will push you to go and complain against the person who has harmed you, but no one will come for your help. No one. In reality also, it is a replication of the reality itself, right? Everyone will push you, go, I am there, but the moment you go to the principal's office or anywhere else, your friends will leave you, right? So this happened in your school life, this will happen now. যাকে বলে ওই গাছে তুলে মই কেড়ে নেওয়া, ঠিক আছে? So they will push you to the extent, they will make you to do the things, and they will remove their support from you when the time comes. Clear? Wang, but you saw all. Can you all, can all of you bear me out? That is, you can all be the witness. He looks around. Unemployed man, grandfather, sister-in-law, all are sitting against the wall and eating. No one looking up. No one looks up. So no one is there to help. No one is. They will be there to give advice. They will be there to say anything that this needs to be done, that needs to be done. But no one will be there to help him out. Shente to Mrs. You yourself saw it, didn't you? So Mrs. Shin says, I don't want to get mixed up with the police. So everyone has their priorities. So the situation is such that everyone will instigate a person to file a report, but they won't come out to be a witness or help them. Okay, this is the situation. This is the situation of the world, not just in the play but also in reality. This happens. Then Shente to the sister-in-law, what do you then? What about you then, sister-in-law? Me, I wasn't looking. So sister-in-law says that she wasn't even looking. She was present there, but she didn't saw. Mrs. Shin, of course you were looking. I saw you looking. So see the comedy out of the situation. Mrs. Shin is willing to push the water seller to file a complaint, but she won't help him out, as she does not want to get involved with the police. The moment sister-in-law says that she hasn't seen, she is being said that she is telling lies by Mrs. Shin, who is not willing to get involved, right? Mrs. Shin is saying that she saw, sister-in-law was seeing. Okay, so everyone is after saving their asses. Okay, you just scared because the barbers got too much pull, that she won't witness, but witness against another witness. Clear? So Mrs. Shin won't give a witness because she is not willing to get involved with the police and everything, so with the law, but she witnesses against another witness that that other person has seen. না না আমি দেখিনি, কিন্তু আমি দেখেছি, ও দেখেছে, ঠিক আছে ঘটনাটা ঘটতে. This is the situation like that. So the comedy to portray the reality is presented here, but through comedy the graveness of the situation, graveness of reality is presented here, where no one is there to help you when you are in need. Okay, the unemployed man says, Shente to unemployed man, it may a pension for life, it may mean a pension for life. They have taken my name twice for begging. I won't do him much good. if I give evidence. So begging is a crime. So they means the police or the law have taken his name for begging. So he won't be a person to give evidence. Shente incredulously, and no one will open his mouth. And she is very angry. His hand gets broken in full light day in front of you all, and you all are not going to give him any support. Oh, you unfortunates! Your brother mishandled before you. So she screams, and he will spare us, and we hide our displeasure. What sort of a town is that? What sort of humans are you? What an injustice takes place in a town. There must be an uproar. So these two lines, underline these two lines. What sort to uproar? So this is a picture of a modern society, right? They will watch accidents on road, give sympathy and move on, and no one will come to help. They will say, ah hare ki kosto, and they will move on, right? This is what is happening here. They will all sympathize, they will push you to take action, they will suggest you so many things, but they won't come a single step forward to help you. Okay. Mrs. Shin says that it will be perjury. They are backing off. That wrong is invisible to her, but Shente's wrong is easily visible to her. Okay, as Shente says that the uproar is needed, there is uproar is better, the town disappears in flames, and before the night falls. Wang, if nobody who saw it will be your witness, then I will be your witness, and saw that I say that I saw it. Okay, so what we see here is that Shente is for the first time taking the step to help Wang, taking the step to help Wang through the means of badness, or through the means of lying. Okay, where she was not present when Wang was hurt, but as Wang needs to get justice, so she will bear the witness. Mrs. Shin says that it will be a perjury, it will be wrong, right, to give false witnesses. Mrs. Shin is saying this. Does this suit her at all? She is saying this on the context that she is backing off herself. She is backing off that the whole wrong that has happened with Wang is invisible to her, but Shente's wrong, which is in order to save Wang's hand, save Wang or help Wang, but Shente's wrong is easily visible to her. Okay, so this shallow kind of judgment is present within them. Wang, I don't know if I can allow that, but perhaps I have to allow it. Do you think it has swollen enough? It looks to me as if it had started to go down. So the unemployment calming Wang. No, it is certainly hasn't gone down. So that is the swollen. If the swollen has gone down, then they would miss the opportunity to sue the barber. Okay, so Wang sees that the swollen has gone down or thing. So the unemployed man consoles him that it has not gone down. Are you sure? Yes, I do believe it is swelling a bit. So possibly in the wrist, I would better go straight to the magistrate. Holding his hand carefully and still looking at it, he hurries out. Mrs. Shin enters barber's shop. So what we see here is that he goes off to the magistrate in order to complain, and on another part, that is where they were, Mrs. Shin enters the barber shop. what we see here is that Mrs. Shin is a hypocrite who take an advantage from both ends. She has forced, she has given hints to the water seller to complain, and now she has gone to the barber shop to inform him. And the next dialogue says so, that she has gone, the unemployed man says, she has gone to the barber shop to butter him up. Okay, this is the condition of the society. These people, this kind of people will be always present, who will appear your friend in front of you, but behind your back they will be after your ass, they will be helping your enemies. The sister-in-law law says that it's not for us to change the world. So everyone is reluctant. They believe that they won't be able to help the world. The self-esteem of the people is so low that they believe they have no power to bring change. But somehow someone rightly said that be the change that you want to see in this world. So in order to bring the change in the world, you should be the change first. You should bring the change within yourself, then you should be doing the change, try to do the change in the society. That is what is happening within Shente. Shente says that Shente will be helping Wang. The smell of cooking, Shente to the audience, they cannot respond where they are stationed. They stay put, and when turned away, they quickly yield place. Nothing now moves them. Only the smell of cooking will make them look up. So he is commenting on the society, that they will never help themselves, they will never do anything to help others, but only they will look up when they smell of food. Okay, the poverty, the deprivation of the society has been such that they have lost the rigidity of their backbone. Okay, they are only concerned with their own benefit, they are only concerned with their own development. That is what they are wanting. Mrs. Wang, out of breath, our old woman are you Miss Shente? The son has told me everything. I am son's mother. Okay, young son. So he has, I think of it, he has got the chance of a job of a pilot. He got a letter from Pekin. So the mother of Shente's lover has come, that they have got a letter, that he has got a letter, that his young son has got a letter from Pekin, and they would be appointing him as a pilot. So Shente says that means he can fly again. Oh, Mrs. Wang. So Shente is generally happy about the prospect of her lover getting the job. But nothing is for free in this world, right? They are all after Shente's money. So Mrs. Wang says, but it will cost a lot, 500 silver dollars. That's a great deal, but money must not stand in his way. After all, I have got the shop. So Shente's magnanimity, Shente's kindness is such that without a second thinking, she says that she has a shop and she will be there to help him, help her lover. Okay, so everyone is after taking advantage of Shente's goodness. Her simplicity is exploited by almost each and everyone for satisfying their needs. Mrs. Wan, if you could only do something. Shente embraces. If I could help him. Mrs. Wan, you could give a chance of the very gifted individual. Shente, why should they stop a man from applying his gifts? After a pause, except that I shall not get enough from the shop. So she is saying that they should not stop a person from flying and anything, uh, I'll not be sharp. And the 200 silver dollars which I have got in cash are only the loan. Of course, you can have those now. So she gives away the 200 silver dollars which were for the 6 months rent of the shop, right? So she gives away the money. She gives her the old couple's money. That too, the money is not her, right? She has borrowed the money from um, the carpet seller, the old woman, and now she is giving that away. Yang, we still need 300 silver dollars. Mrs. Yang, you must think. Slowly, I know someone who might perhaps help. Someone who has advised me before. I didn't really want to have to resort to him again. He is too smart and too tough. Who is he? He is Shweta, the evil cousin, so-called evil cousin. Okay, so the shrewd cousin. But a pilot has got to fly. So Shente's behavior, Shente's willingness is such that Shente is always willing to help people in need, and we will see that she is happy beyond limit to help him. But as this is again out of a concern, not concern, again out of a hands that she cannot help much, so she needs the help of Shweta. Sounds of engine at the distance. This one, if your friend could only raise the money, look there goes the morning. Uh, Mail service to Pekin. Shente, with the determination. Wang waved to it. Mr. Wang, I am sure the pilot can see us. She waves her shawl. Go on, wave. Mrs. Wang waving. Do you know the pilot? Shente, no. I know a pilot, for the man without the hope shall fly. Without hope shall fly. Mrs. Wang, one of us at least shall be able to fly above the wretchedness. One at least shall rise above us all. Okay, so she is happy for her lover. She is a Panglossian, that is relentlessly optimistic or unrealistically optimistic to the level of being stupidly optimistic. Okay, so she is a Panglossian where she is willing to give her lover the job at Pekin, and what we see here is that these people are only after getting the money in order to get the job, and they are not at all willing to, they are not at all a person. Young son is not in love with Shente at this very moment. He is only there to take the advantage, the monetary advantage, whereas we see Shente is totally in love. What she says that to the audience will reveal the thing. Young son, my loved one, with the clouds of the companions, and she is always willing to help person to rise above this wretchedness. So daring enormous tempest flying through the heavens and bringing to friends in far off countries the friendly post. So young son's of the offer that young son gets makes Shente elated, very much elated about the prospect of getting a job, and that too a job at another place. So she is very much welcome to do anything to get her lover the job. That's why she is giving her money, and she is inviting the person, that is she herself or the cousin who she will be taking the look of that person in order to help. But what we see here is that from another point of view, in order to solve the problem or in order to judge the people, you need, or Shente needs, the perspective of Shweta to know the real nature of the person. That's why Shweta is being brought again. Okay, thank you for listening. We will continue the next sections in the next classes. Thank you.